The topic that I want to talk about today on self-improvement is about the fact that society has conditioned us not to want to take risks. So I think it's a pretty important topic because I'm definitely at a stage in my life where, like for many, many years, I didn't really take that many risks, but now I'm in a stage where I feel like taking risks is actually going to help me a lot more, and taking risks is going to be something that is, that you shouldn't be afraid of, I suppose, in your life. I think the thing that stuck out for me really was I remember like years and years ago, they used to flash up these sort of motivational things on the board saying like, they talk about some superstar or like a CEO or someone like that, or a professional athlete or something like that, and basically explain the fact that when they were younger they got basically like rejected, or when they were younger they failed businesses, things like that. Like I think Einstein or something like that was a high school dropout or something like that. And even Messi, like when he started out playing football, they told him he was too small to play football, and he went on to become one of the greatest footballers of all time. And obviously Einstein, one of the greatest scientists of all time. So like, it's kind of funny that they show us these things in school, but then the whole purpose of school is about taking less risk, taking the safe path, becoming more of a millionaire when you're becoming like rich when you're like 60 or something like that, which is a horrible way to live your life. And it's those people that actually broke out of that rut and took risks that actually ended up becoming successful. Sure, there's a lot of people that have taken risks and not become successful, but that's not to say that everyone's going to fail. And that's why I think the biggest thing that sort of held me back for years and years, and the biggest thing that's probably holding you back as well, is just the fact that you have this idea in your mind that you have to go to university, you have to do certain things, you have to follow a script that's sort of been pre-written by society. Even though 99% of the people that follow that script are fucking miserable, but they don't tell you that, obviously. Of course they're not going to. And then the last point that I want to talk about is the idea that society says that following your passion is a scam, which I think again is absolute garbage. Because if you're in a situation where you want to actually follow your passion, and you stick to that and you actually become very, very dedicated and motivated to it, you're more likely to actually make money from it later, once you actually become a master at what it is you really want to become a master at, and what it is you really care about. So I guess the biggest takeaway from this is just not being afraid to take those risks. And I can obviously understand why you would be afraid to take risks, because I was for many, many years. I still am, to be honest. Like, to say that I'm fully free of fear is and would be a lie. So I think for that, it's important to realize that you don't need to be afraid to take those risks and actually go ahead and do what it is you want to do with your life, not what you think society tells you to do. Another thing just popped in my head. I remember this might have been a few weeks ago, right? Where there were, I ran into an old school teacher of mine from high school, and I had a bit of a chat to her, and then basically just told her sort of where I was at in life. And then she sort of was like, "Oh, you should come in and talk to some of the year 12 students about life after high school and stuff like that." And I sort of I didn't end up doing it, for the record. Not because I didn't want to necessarily, but just because I never got around to doing it. But I remember like thinking about it afterwards, and I was like realistically, like what this sort of school society and these school teachers are going to want me to say, "Oh yeah, go to university, do this." Like, I don't want to be selling that message to these year 12 students. So I was like, what do they actually want me to say? Like, are they going to want me to obviously say the pre-scripted thing of like, yeah, do this, do that? Whereas in reality, I definitely didn't want to do that. In reality, I was like, no. I was like, the message that I would honestly give to those year 12 students is do what you think is right. Like, do what you want to do, genuinely. Don't do what society tells you to do. Like, if there's a certain passion or certain job that you're drawn towards, just go try it out without having to go to university, be in massive fucking amounts of debt, and like waste 3 years of your life doing that. Whereas, like, you may as well test and try when you were younger. Like, fortunately, I never went to university, right? Because I didn't want to. Like, I genuinely, that's the simple reality. Like, I genuinely didn't want to when I was younger. But it's not just that, but also like the fact that I managed to find something that I was actually interested in at the start, and then just sort of stick to it for a few years, and eventually got good at it. But like, I didn't, yeah. But I guess I wouldn't have sold the message that those students have to go to university necessarily, which I thought maybe the teachers aren't going to like. So I ended up not doing it. And that takes me back to when I was in year 12 as well. Like, a lot of these teachers, right? When I remember I had this maths teacher in year 12. Really good teacher, for the record. He's definitely never going to watch this video, but yeah, I remember telling him about like some of the options that I had after high school, and when I explained it to him, he sort of looked at me and was like, he was like, oh, is there any sort of studies involved with that? Like, are you going to get a degree out of it? I was like, no. I was like, I'm just going to go work, you know? And then he was sort of like, oh, like, that's really bad though. Like, you know, you should get a university degree, go to uni and stuff like that. I make more money than he fucking does now, you know what I mean? Like, so the fact that he was telling me that, and I genuinely had another teacher as well, who, this is a massive segue, but he literally looked at me in the eyes and was like, you know, he's like, your progress at the moment is like really slow. He's like, if you don't pick it up now, he's like, you're gonna be a failure in life and stuff like that. I don't know if he exactly said it like that, but he basically insinuated that I was shit. And I still remember that to this day. And again, I probably make more money than him now. Not like online or anything like that, like the job that I work now. But that's obviously something I'm trying to get out of. And that's goes back to the initial message that I had at the start of this video, which is, if you take risks, you might fail a couple of times, but eventually you'll succeed, and eventually you'll find something that works for you. And that is my biggest message. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.